Yeah, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and the respected dignitaries out on the dais. To be very honest, I'm speechless right here. Because I spent restless nights preparing some speech for this occasion, and I find out that people who have been talking, they have spoken about everything I wanted to say about pulses industry. So I won't take much of you guys' time in saying what I have to say. Most of the things you have already heard, and most of us, we are already aware of what are the issues dogging our industry in general. Whenever I talk about these issues or think about these issues, one thing comes to my mind. We have studied, right? Like in our student days, we used to study a lot about India is a land of diversity. We have so many diversities. We have mountains, we have plains, we have deserts, we have forests, everything. And yet we are united. Over the years in the pulses industry I've been involved with, I've found out that we are not only diversified as far as our situations are concerned. We are very good at contradicting ourselves as well at the same time. I'll give you one small example. We Indians, we are very good at seeing one thing on both sides of the coin. Like we saw in the movie Sholay, so famously. We can see both, one thing on both the sides of the coin. When we talk about issues, when we talk about solutions, when we talk about what the trade should do, what the government should do, everyone we have our own issues and our own versions to put forward. When we say that we have a long-standing problem, the problem which is a long-term base, and we need long-term solutions. But we see that the government comes forward with short-term solutions. I would very well believe with Mr. Murthy, the policies which our government has, announcing exemption of import duty on pulses on every 6 monthly basis or a yearly basis is not a right thing. We are staring at a problem which is long-standing. It has been there. On one hand, we talk about tackling the problem. On one hand, we have an issue, we had our last agriculture survey in the year 1991, which was 20 years back. Things have changed drastically out here in India in the last 20 years. We have seen the kind of industrialization which we see today just because what we did in the last 20 years, most of it, I should say. The most of the development we have had in the industry is in the last 20 years. And the last industrial, agriculture survey we had, it was in 1991. And we are still talking about the problem. So this is how we contradict ourselves. We are Indians, right? We are proud to be Indians and we contradict ourselves. We want our farmers to have the good prices of whatever they produce. We want to promote whatever they produce so that they can get the true value of their product. We keep saying India is an agricultural country where 60 to 65%, I'm not an agronomist, I'm not a statistician, I don't know the data exactly. I'm saying what I see on the books, on the printed material, that 60 to 65% of our population, they are dependent on agriculture. And here comes the issue. How to feed the balanced 35% of the people, out of whom, rightly, Mr. Murthy mentioned, how much our budget for the pulses have increased in a normal household. I'm talking about the people who can pay and buy their pulses for their proteins because they know that's the only source of high protein for their diet. So we are bothering about them, or we are bothering about the farmers. So the contradictions again. We need to have a clear-cut policy where, again, contradiction. We start comparing ourselves with the Canadian farmers. We start looking what Canadians are doing for producing their pulses. They are able to produce their yields are so high, they are able to produce, they used to produce 1 million tons of peas, now they are producing close to 3.5 million tons of peas. How? Man, they know something, the land is fertile over there. The conditions are ripe over there. But we forget, in Canada, the farmers, they are traders. They know how to trade. Our farmers, they are dependent on so many things. Whether the government is coming out with minimum support prices, whether the government is going to include their pulses in the public distribution system, whether the mandi people or the business people or the wholesalers or the intermediaries, they are going to pay the right kind of prices to them. They are dependent on so many things. Forget about their dealings with the loan sharks or their stress or whatever problems our farmers have. Contradictions are plenty. So when we have to have solutions to these problems, we need to make sure that what we need, and we need a clear-cut policies. Like we need people working 24/7 on those issues. Like these kind of conferences and seminars are helpful because it makes us understand what is going on in the industry. But we have to have a clear policy. We have to have people working 24/7 on these issues. Like whether we can bring the Indian farmers as a trader. Can we bring Indian farmers in these seminars and introduce them with everybody out in the industry that they are traders as well. They can trade their produce. Is that possible? Anything is possible. It may be difficult, but it's possible. How these things can be done, like until and unless the Indian farmers knows how to trade, we cannot solve this problem. We can keep talking about people as Mr. Gopalakrishnan said. It was mentioned out in 1982 that in 15 years we are going to have problem like pulses problem, real problem. But the government comes out in the year 2005 and we need to control the prices. We need the prices to be crashing down and contradiction again, like we go out in the international market buying yellow peas at $550. And that's within a gap of 3 months from $275 to $550. So contradiction again, like you want the prices to come down, you want the prices to be stabilizing, and you go out yourself in the market, in the international market, and make them understand that pulses are worth too much. We need pulses badly, but we cannot grow it. We are growing pulses. All we need is clear-cut policies. Until unless these policies are in place, like I'm very sorry to say, like we won't be able to solve this problem. We all have our own problems, right? None of us goes out to the farmers. We are talking about farmers. We are talking about traders. Like how many of us we go to each other? None. Like we need policies. Policies is the need of the hour. Like until unless we have clear-cut policies in the country, I don't think like we have a solution inside. I won't take much of you guys' time. Thank you so much.